This is Dave McCain with the Right Tree Genealogy doing part 2 of the series for custom groups or custom grouping dots. And one quick note here, if you haven't watched part 1 and you've never used the dots before, I suggest you click the card up in this area here and go to the first video and then come back to where we are right now. Ancestry.com, applying custom grouping using colored dots. Series part 2. What we did, we created 8 colors for the 8 great grandparents. The father's side, number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the mother's side, number 5, 6, 7, and 8. Graphically speaking, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is the father's side, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is the mother's side. So that's recapping the first video. Now, note on this method, we're going to skip the no tree matches at this point. We're going to address them in part 3 on some of the things we can do to try to put dots on those and figure out what surnames attached to them. The next step, we've done the first 2 steps in video number 1, which will be linked at the end of this video if you want to go back and watch it again. You want to start with your highest centimorgan matches that do not or does not have dots at this point. And reminder, your DNA must be attached to your tree for this to work the best. Again, it's going to be comparing some common ancestors and that type of thing going forward, so you want to have your tree attached to your DNA. And the second thing is we're going to take the dots that we created in step 2 of part 1 video and apply them to all the matches down to about 40 centimorgans. Okay, and I'm not going to illustrate that completely in this video. I'm just going to show a few of those, how we get to those and what we do with them. 40 centimorgans or higher, you should be matching that person related to those surnames you list. The big caveat or exclusion to this, endogamy and pedigree collapse, you can actually see up to 50 centimorgans or even more if it's really close time frame, that they've just got small segments that match you. But in general speaking, we're doing this down to 40 centimorgans. For most people out there, this will work. Now we log into our kit like we did in video number 1, and we want to go down to view all DNA matches. Now when we get to this page, we want to go to our highest DNA match, and this person right here does not have a dot on them, so we want to click on the linked tree. We go into that match, and when we get to this match, it's an unlinked public tree, we want to click on their tree. Even though there's only 4 people listed, we're going to still click on this tree. When we click on that, we see the name Purvis. Now I showed it in a few slides back that one of our 8 names is Purvis that we're interested in. So when seeing it in this person's tree, we're going to go down to the create custom groups that we did in the first 8, and we see Purvis. We click that, we apply it to that person. Now at this point, it's actually something important we need to go ahead and do before we go any more examples. It's a good idea to go to your search page, click on the trees, and change to unlinked trees, because unlinked tree matches would not have the dots on them. So that's what we want to do now, is click on the unlinked trees and hit apply. Now we're going to go into a next one on this list, and we're going to go down through every one of them, not on this video, but we're going to go down through all those matches and put the dots, if we can, in the unlinked tree, from the unlinked tree for the matches. So we look at this unlinked public tree match. They have a tree called Patton Family, which I don't know that name, so I'm going to go ahead and click on their unlinked tree and see what we find. Well, lo and behold, right here we go. Another example of one of the 8 surnames. Allen is another one of those names. Here it is. When we looked at their tree, we found that it was inside of the unlinked tree. We found one of the surnames. So what we want to do here, same thing you do on the previous one. You do this through every one of your matches as you go on these unlinked trees. You find the surname, you click and apply the surname. In this case, it's Allen. So as you notice, we got some dots to our matches from the unlinked trees. Once you go through all your unlinked trees down to about 40 centimorgans, You go down as far as you want to do, but about 40 is what I'm recommending here. It's time to look at this unlinked trees and change it back to the reset it back to all trees, because we got rid of the ones that said no trees. We also got rid of the ones that had public and private, and we were just looking at the unlinked. So we want to turn this back on so we can kind of get a feel for where we're at now on our searches. What's really nice about this is that once you get down through that, you'll have the ability to take a look at all your match list at this point and see how much you've accomplished, and possibly know how they match to you. And that's a good caveat to going into the first part of the conclusions and comments. We now show how we can apply the dots we created in part 1 video, the 8 surnames, to those that did not have the dot appear when we did the search. Now, the point is here, an unlinked tree will not show any of the search that you do in the surname searches, because it is not linked to their DNA. That's why it's important. You should always link your DNA to your tree so that the names will show up. Second comment here is, we also know that we've added the dots to approximately all the 40 centimorgans and up, and it gives us a better idea of how those matches are most likely related to us. Now that we've added those dots, we can see the dots go, oh, hey, this is the Purvis line, or this is the K-Wood line, or whichever line it is. It gives us the opportunity to look at it visually now of how we could be related to a person. Now, I want to make this note here, as I mentioned earlier, beware of endogamy and pedigree collapse. So you may end up seeing a bunch of dots on an individual, and they got 40 or 50 centimorgans. You're going, okay, I may not be able to figure out how they're related to me. But the other ones that have 1 or 2 dots, and looking at their trees, you very likely can see how you're related. So I wanted to recap here that create custom group, there's 24 that you can create. We did the first 8 in video number 1, and we're going to cover the other 16 dots in video number 3. So this method allows us to use all 24 dots if we find the surnames. Now, we may not find all the surnames. It takes a lot of time and research to determine, you're looking through other people's trees, you're doing research for records, paper trails to get all of them. But this method allows you to apply up to 40 surnames with the 24 dots, and that's going to be covered in part 3, because it's going to be an advanced topic. And part 3 is also going to cover how to look at the shared match lists. If they don't have dots, we can take a look at those and apply more dots to the surnames, and again get a feel of how the people match to us. Well, this was a fairly short video covering the first 8 dots, how to apply those first 8 dots. And if you stopped here and not watched the next step of this, you still have a very good idea of how your matches actually can relate to you based on your surnames. Now, the next video is going to cover the advanced topics of adding the additional 16 dots to get up to 40 ancestral surnames. And it's also going to go into the match list of how to put the dots on those that may not have a tree, and those that didn't seem to have a name even when we did see the tree. Thanks for watching this video. Please consider subscribing, giving it a like, and clicking the bell notification for future videos. I also have additional videos that you can watch here at the top. Let's continue learning together.